What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dumb Saints podcast. I'm Alex.
PJ.
And we have a special guest with us today.
Yes, we do.
Bryce Thompson. What's going on, dude?
What's happening? What's good?
So some of y'all may know who Bryce is, but a lot of you probably don't. And so today we're just going to get to know each other. Want you to tell us about your story. I mean, earlier you were like, hey, my story could probably take up a full hour. I'm almost like, sure, go ahead. You know, I don't even care.
I mean,
I would love to hear your background.
And this is my thought process, because at some point, it's just like, you're going to go back and be like, who started this? When did this start? And they're going to be YouTubing it, and they're going to be Bryce, Joyful Noize, and they're going to come across this podcast.
Hopefully.
And it's going to be just a whole bunch of dope stuff that people are not normally going to ask him once he becomes a super famous person. Like, they're just not going to care about certain things. They're just going to only ask kind of surface level questions at that point. So it's going to be cool. I think this podcast is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I believe just because we see the fruit of it, we have people in our church who attend his events. We have, it's cool. He is very all about multi-generational community, which Sunday is that, but in sense, like, yes, like in kids ministry, you could have an older person serve for the JV Legends, so you get that. But in most cases, that is not something that is provided, and it's not something where is even the idea of fun. So he's kind of created this place where you just really can't get what you want once you're a Christ follower. So I'm excited to go into it, but also the beginning, way before this, Bryce, way before serving people, way before anything, kind of, you know, we'll let you introduce yourself, then we'll get some questions, but just like kind of quick overview, and then we'll jump in.
Bro, start by telling us what your current ministry looks like, and then we can kind of go backwards and figure out how you got there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, man, currently the ministry has been on the surface a viral sensation. But as far as the controversy behind it has sparked up good conversation.
Good.
As far as what is needed for all generations and what's important. Is this even important and helpful? But what it is a Christian club. And with the word club, a lot of people lose their minds about it. But the truth is, like, what is the essence of a club? You know, it's an environment of like-minded people coming together for certain intentions, which from some people's experiences aren't the best intentions.
Yeah.
But if you reroute those intentions to be based off of Scripture and based off of what God desires for us, you have yourself a beautiful environment of all nations coming together, all generations coming together to just have a great time.
You can't. I mean, you can't deny the videos. When you see the videos, it is everyone's having the time of their life.
Yeah.
Like, and the person having the best time is probably Bryce. Like, he is just like hitting dance moves that they're not out yet. He's just, because he has to like stay at the table, so you only have a sphere that you got it, because he's got to be ready for the next cue and stuff. So he's kind of mastered this dance that, you know, most DJs it's kind of like he's
Bro,
taking it up another
if I do a dance
level.
move nobody's seen before, they don't compliment me by saying he's doing dance moves nobody's done before.
Well, dude, because your dance moves have been done before. He does like imaginary glow sticks.
What?
Imaginary glow stick nunchucks is one of your main moves.
That's so funny that you're
That's how I would describe
that
move, because you pull it out a lot.
Bro,
I've known you for 14 years.
I'm actually cooking.
I
So
feel like
you
if
see what I'm doing right now?
He's cooking.
That's what he
I
thinks
thought
I'm
they
doing.
were
I'm like,
glow stick
flip the
nunchucks.
burger up, catch it. Yeah, so, dude.
Hey, those dance moves are welcomed in our space.
Funny.
Oh.
Yes.
Bro, so that's awesome. So, I mean, I don't really come from club culture. You know, I think I've been to 2 clubs my entire life. And
You sinner. You
Yeah, we gotta talk about that.
what about you? What about you?
I've never been to a club in my
Dude,
life.
I can expose you right now.
Don't
I can
do it.
expose you, not
Do
for
it.
clubs, but for what you used to do
I'm just
when
saying,
you were
I
younger.
think because what? A club, right? You're looking at 21 plus. I already went to Australia and found Jesus around that time.
That is true. You lived a very different life than most of us.
I lied, bro.
Oh, you have been to a club. Does
It was
Cecil
in
County have
Australia.
clubs?
No, it was in Australia.
See?
Bro, he found a club.
That man was at the Kangaroo Club.
I just remembered there was twice.
That man was at the Kangaroo
Okay, so I have
Club
been to a
getting
club
jumped.
before.
So,
I was there ministering to people and telling them about Jesus.
Sure.
amen. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I'm totally lying.
I'm proud of you.
totally lying.
All right, Bryce. So, way before that, let's go to the beginning. Let's go to what was your upbringing like? Like, have you always known Jesus? Has Jesus kind of have you been on this long road with Jesus? Like, when did you meet him? Were your parents playing music? Like, kind of, if you were to look back and be like, if this had some influence anywhere to what I'm doing now, it was around this time, and kind of just take us on that journey so people can kind of see kind of the birth of what Joyful Noize was.
Yeah.
Most definitely. I'm huge on like simplicity and like keywords, because shout out to everybody who has the ADHD stuff.
Shout
you
out.
know,
Yeah.
shout out to all y'all. You know, because we don't
That's
claim
us. I think
we
that's
don't
us.
claim it, but we acknowledge
Yes.
some of those
What
things.
the enemy meant for evil, God will turn around and work it
Exactly.
for our good.
So the way that I've conquered that mug is giving myself simple words to like hold on to. So
Yeah.
hospitality has always been a part of my life. Jesus was introduced to me pretty much in college when I dropped out. Somebody showed me the Bible, showed me the gospel, and I was like, yo, this is everything I was looking for.
Wow.
So that's kind of like two different things, but they all come together because Jesus was all about hospitality. And although my family, my household wasn't Christian, we were holiday Christians. We were American Christians in a sense, where we would go to church.
Creasters. You were the
That's what we-
Christmas,
yeah.
Easter.
Yeah, we were
Christians.
definitely the Creasters.
That's
I had
funny.
my Easter outfit. I had we didn't even do Christmas. We didn't get the service. 'cause
Easter was enough.
Christmas.
Easter was enough.
When we hear they do the night service and all that,
Oh,
we're eating. Like we
You don't
hanging
like
out.
no
So,
candles?
yeah, like why? Like what? Like yeah. And then-
Silent night. It's like,
exactly.
what are we doing
Nah,
right now?
Easter was turned because it was the food, it was the outfits, it was a
Yes.
whole event.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I grew up in a household that had principles that did tie into biblical things. I just didn't know it. So we always, when people came over, we had food, we had music. We always was trying to connect with everybody. My dad loved cooking. We was always sitting at the table. You know, we allowed people to sit at the table and really show love to them. So it was natural for me to always just have people be welcomed into my presence, into my community, into
Yeah.
my environment. And even though we didn't know Jesus, he was using those things to kind of show me like, nah, no matter who it is, if you provide a safe space for them to be themselves, like you can bring the best out of people, or you can create some cool memories and create cool friendships. So, you know, the unfortunate side is because I didn't have Jesus in there, I was a part of the hyphy culture. If you
Okay,
know
yeah.
about E40,
Yeah.
Too Short, all those guys.
Yeah.
Like I'm from the Bay
What's
Area.
cool is we're all the same age.
True.
We are all the same age.
Really?
Practically.
32.
Months. Within months.
Oh, so he's the oldest.
Yeah, he's.
I'm the
I
OG.
turned 32 next month, November 16th.
So I'm just saying, it's just.
He's
so-
a young buck.
No, but we
He's
just
a young
we
one.
grew up in the
We'll
same
teach
music
you. Yeah.
era. We
Yeah.
were all when we were
I'm
teenagers.
not gonna lie. I have no clue.
We
what
probably
he
listened
said.
to a lot
You
of the
just
same
said that,
stuff.
and he was like,
I
"Yeah,
know,
totally." And
yeah.
I was like, "I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he's
keep my
like-
mouth shut."
he's
And then
like-
you just made me. I have to tell them because I'm
Yeah.
not about to act like I know what
I
he's
forgot
talking
you were
about.
like emo and had black nails and stuff.
Dude, I never painted my nails. I never wore makeup. That was not the
Turn
kind of music
around
we were-
and die.
No, absolutely not.
Hey, my mom.
No.
Nah.
No, we did not. Do
So,
that.
all right. So to explain, this is good because we have a blended audience. So
Cool.
for those who don't know the hyphy culture, don't know the Bay Area, California, there's a region in California that had this subculture that was based off of, that was inspired by a certain type of music that was influenced by drugs, but it gave an interesting like perspective on being yourself
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and being. It actually fits for the podcast because they talked about going stupid, going dumb.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yep.
And,
Okay.
and
That's us.
doing dumb stuff and
Mhm.
saying like this is self-expression, this is liberation from
Yeah.
all the whatevers. But I was all about that. I was the hyphy kid, but I was also an athlete. So doing sports kept me locked in to where I didn't get too hyphy
Yeah,
and
yeah.
get caught up in the culture. But yeah, I was around all of that. We would be at the parties. They'll be jumping, they'll be popping, like, and I was always trying to be the life of the party. And for my friend group and I, we saw it actually as like a way of survival. Like if we were the cool people,
Yeah.
if we was tied in with the people that was about that action, as we say, that was involved in crime and stuff like that, but we was cool with them and people respected us and the girls rocked with us, all that stuff, then we would be good.
Yeah.
Like, so as long as we was popping at the parties, we know we'll be straight. So that kind of became the thing. Like, I made sure I was doing well in sports. I made sure I was the life of the party. And from there, I can make it through these years of middle school and high school and all that stuff.
So that's definitely something. Like your middle school years, your teenage years, you've already been the center kind of the function.
Yeah.
And not saying that, because I've seen Chips. I haven't been to Joyful Noize yet.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you've been, but if you've seen the videos, you can kind of get a great sense of what it was if you were to come, and then it probably would exceed your expectations even more.
Definitely.
But he's controlling the tempo. Like he's DJing.
Yeah.
And we've actually seen how DJing has actually blown up probably in the last 10 years more than who was that, like the real DJ who came out early? Skrillex? Like who kind of it's like where he kind of really kind of brought it to the with Daft Punk and those guys, like where it really started being super mainstream. So now here you have it in a way where you were using gospel music, Christian hip hop music, and now you were creating this space, but you didn't even realize that you could probably ever do that in that time.
Yeah,
you never saw Joyful Noize then.
Nah, I never even thought about DJing. I thought it was too expensive to even get the equipment. But I was raised around like the dope radio DJs, so I loved the mixes when I was in traffic and stuff. I've met a few DJs when I was at parties, but it was such a far gone concept. I just saw partying as just just something we do when
It's
we
like a
have free
social
time.
thing.
Yeah, it's just a
You and
social
your friends
thing.
hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. And I like what you're saying because, like, just seeing what's around me really kind of gave me the inspiration to go after what was going on at that time. So it's because I was around a bunch of athletes. That's all I was pursuing. Like basketball was practically my religion at the time. Like that was my way out. That was my goal. Like I was trying to get a scholarly and go to the league and all that stuff. So that was it. So we didn't see no DJs making it.
See, so I played sports growing up. When you played football, you were third string wide receiver.
Come on.
He said that in one of our podcasts.
Third string safety.
Third string
It's
safety.
even worse.
But you get
also,
this,
that was middle school.
Middle school. But there is this truth of like,
why are you roasting
No,
me
I'm not.
so
I'm setting.
much?
What do I do? I'm setting.
I'm just saying when
the emo stuff wasn't roasting. So if you took that way, that's not.
No,
like,
I mean,
thought
you
that was
said
cool.
I painted my fingernails black.
It was cool.
I never did that.
It's cool now.
It's fine. I'm just being really defensive because I think it's so cringy when I see guys now doing it.
I'm sorry. But what I'm trying to say is music in the locker room.
Yeah.
So like even from an early age, like you're seeing like, oh, this song's coming on, like this is getting us ready for the game.
Yeah.
Or just like, so you've already seen how music has affected people, and you're kind of, without knowing, 15 years from that point, here you are doing something in a whole different light that is bringing out this like David danced.
Yeah.
Like, what is kind of your thoughts on that? Because I know you've been to church, you've seen worship. I mean, there is churches where people are dancing in worship and they've got ribbons and all this stuff, but for the most case, it's hands up, clapping. So we have some people that express themselves with worship, like they get into a little bit more than others, but it's not more than anything that like it could be distracting. Yeah. Right? Like if someone was going to dance on a Sunday, they dance that Joyful Noize.
We're about to get canceled by all the Spanish churches with the flag ladies.
Oh, but it's okay because I'm
Sundays.
Spanish, so it's okay.
I know your background, and I can see that's why you're bringing that up because
yes, it's glorifying God.
I get where you're coming from, though.
It's like I get it. You're glorifying God in what you do, but I'm so about the lost person. So it's like if that person is gonna be like, what the heck, then I would say maybe let's not even do it.
Yeah, there's no like version of that outside of church.
So. But you are like people are able to express themselves in this way, like the first time you did it, or the idea before doing it, or maybe it was you were your own inspiration. Like, man, I want something for this. Like, how did you kind of? And maybe I jumped ahead, but maybe you can go into kind of finding Jesus and then going that route. Yeah. Because that concept is just so still far-fetched to me because you don't see that. Like, I grew up with people did crumping where I'm from. And Christian crumping.
Where are you from again?
Massachusetts.
Oh, really?
So, like, it's a big thing
Christian
up there.
crumping.
Dude, I'm telling you.
Oh, that's the dude where he's like, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
That's probably
way better than that
Close
guy.
enough.
You know that guy?
But
Have you
even
seen him?
Yeah, of course.
I love that
Mike.
dude.
Shout out
That
Seven
guy's
Mike.
Freaking
He's
dope.
in the hand.
Yeah.
But like
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So touching on one thing that was interesting was I actually did make the warm-up mixes for my team. I actually made like the like hype mixes to get us like ready for the
was that like your first DJ?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Splicing it up.
We had
That's
the
cool.
best warm-up mixes. It was super dramatic. Like shout out Salesian. Like we had we was state champions. Like we had a serious team. So we made sure our warm-ups was on point, everything. Yeah. So I made the mixes. I always had like pregame like songs put together for us to be hyped. So yes, I was in a sense, DJing a lot.
That's cool.
And I use FL Studio because I was producing
Let's
just
go.
because as a hobby. But then I realized I can make like little mixes on
Yeah.
there.
It was Fruity Loops back then.
Yeah, you got to make
Loops
it
is
proper with FL, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Fruity Loops, you know. But yeah, my first DJ gig was a going away party when I moved from Cali to Virginia for college. Again, I wasn't Christian at the time, but I
Mhm.
threw a house party in my area, which is a big risk. A lot of times it either ends with a fight or shooting. But because I knew
Dang.
how to operate parties
Yeah.
as a way of survival, I knew how to create an environment where everybody could just have a good time
Yeah.
and no drama breaks out. And it was just a collection of things because of survival. God was using that to help me just be very observant and very like just calculated in how I approached events. And it was crazy because it just became like me actually studying like the elements of parties, like
Yeah.
knowing what time to go, when to leave, knowing what song that needs to play at a certain time, knowing who needs to be there for the party to actually go, knowing who, if this person's there, we need to leave. Like knowing like all that actually in the future now gave me this like crazy like natural inkling of like, okay, like I know exactly what I need for this party to go.
Mm.
And I don't even have to overthink it. Now, when it comes to when I became a Christian, they met me when I was a dropout at Hampton University, and all I was doing was partying as a dropout. I was partying, and I would go to the library. I was a drop-in student, actually.
Look at
I
that.
learned it from Steve Jobs, actually, but it was like I can be on campus and not do any classes. So I did a semester of like just hanging out, being a student, but not doing classes.
Wow.
And in that time, somebody encountered me, ran into me in the library, and just had a Bible study with me. And it was a game changer because again, I was searching. I was trying to survive. I was trying to change my life and do something better, but I just didn't find it in school. And I was like, this is a bad investment. It's costing way too much, and I still don't know myself. And I felt like I was purposeless, even as I was meeting all the right people. Because I knew like networking again was my means to like growing. Like if I know the right people, I'll make it.
Mhm.
As I met these people, I know it's the Holy Spirit because the Holy Spirit was revealing to me like these people don't have what you're looking for. You know, these people aren't the answer. They don't have the answer. I'm asking them, what's your purpose? Why are you here? They're not giving me anything that really resonates. So I just stopped. That was a part of why I stopped. But when I met this one guy, I always shout him out. His name's Horace. It's my brother. And he sat down and just said, hey, has anybody sat down and read the word with you one-on-one, face-to-face? I'm like, nah. I've been to churches. I've been to Bible studies. I've been in these environments where they had group things, but I always felt like, okay, this is cool, but I got something else I want to do.
Was he somebody that was like with you going to parties and stuff, but was different, or like he
Sounds
was
like an angel who just
like
showed
he was
up.
just another
He was random
like
as
another
heck.
part of your life?
Yeah, nah. Everybody that was at Hampton, which no shade to them, because I know some of them might be watching, but some of them would do Bible studies and then party with me, and I was like, all right, that, like, it was crazy because I thought that's what Christianity looked like because I had no other idea of Christianity. So I was like, oh, you're supposed to just go to Sunday to get your cleansing and then go back
Bro,
to
that's
doing.
what a ton
Sunday
of
made
Christians
you new.
think it's
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, unfortunately. And then I meet this random guy
We
pretty
just
much.
talked about that.
Mhm.
That was last week's episode. We talked about
Sheesh. Yeah,
having a passive faith versus an active faith.
exactly. So this guy,
Sure.
Horace, was a random, but he took a year off from college just to share his faith on campus. Was getting rejected by everybody. Runs into me
Wow.
and just locks in and just serves me. And it
Wow.
goes back to hospitality because it wasn't just the Bible studies. It was like he recognized I was sleeping on a friend's couch. I ain't had no bread. He took me to the grocery store, got me some food, like made sure I was straight,
Wow.
and went above and beyond to a stranger to show them like the love of Jesus. And that was the part that really locked me in because I was like, this guy actually cares. And he actually knows what he's talking about because he's challenging my little like Christian sounding phrases that I developed in the midst of being around all these other people.
Yeah.
He cut through that, was like, that ain't what the Bible say, bro. Let me show you. And he was a guy, looked like me, talked like me, could hoop, you know, all that stuff. So it really gave me a sense of like, oh, this is what it looks like to really walk in the faith. And I went from there. But just to tie that into the journey, like with DJing and everything that I've been leading up to this point was original. I was all about sticking out. Like that was in our culture with
Yeah.
hyphy. Like, so as I got to the church, I mean, I started recognizing already some conflict.
Because you gotta like humble yourself. Like you're probably wrestling with.
I'm
right?
wrestling with it because he's saying certain things where I'm like, I'm huge on like just sharing, like just being honest,
Mhm.
just being real with where I'm at. And I'm like, I don't get why y'all do this. Like, this don't make sense. Like, this is like, I understand why this is biblical, but this is common sense. Like, I was just annoyed by, like, why are we all eating at this place when we ain't got no money? Like, we need to do something that, like, when I was with my friends, we always found cheap ways to hang out. Like, why are we acting like we got money and we're eating at this California pizza kitchen? I know all y'all broke college students. Like, this is stupid. We could do a hangout in the park. And they're like, well, this is what we do. Like, this is the Bible study group. We meet here. I'm like, this don't make sense financially and culturally. So I was that guy that always was just kind of like, I just naturally didn't.
Yeah, you were looking for community, but it just wasn't. It didn't accommodate where you were in your season,
Yeah.
and not just where you were, probably where most young adults were in that season.
Yeah.
Bro, you had the cheat that we didn't have. That I've always thought about this. Like, if you grow up in that kind of church bubble, you become desensitized to a lot of the things, and you came in as like, no, I'm not in this little protective church bubble.
Yeah.
And now I'm jumping into this community. And so you don't have you've got no preconceptions. It's like a clean slate. So you're coming in and going, hey, why are you doing this? And why are you doing that?
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that. Like, we didn't get that. We after the fact have people like you come in and say, hey, why do you do that? And then we go, yeah, why were we doing that?
Then it starts to get you
And
to
then we
reshape
have
your
experiences later where we look back and now we are actively trying to come against the stupid stuff that churches do. It's not biblical stuff.
It's just tradition.
This is just man-made bullcrap that we've put in the way. So
No, that's real. And I think that's a part of like my journey where I was a dropout. I ain't have no plan at that time. I had an ideal because I started throwing parties and I was like, man, I really love DJing. I do want to do this.
Yeah.
But when I was in Virginia, Hampton, Virginia, which is like more military.
okay.
So a lot of times, your church culture reflects the culture of the the city. So everybody's saying, hey, go back to school, get a job, get your career, get your family. And I'm like, nah, I want to just DJ and live out my car. Like, is that sin? And they're like, yeah. I'm like,
Really?
To an extent, where it's kind of like read between the lines, where it's like, hey, you want to be excellent, you want to, do this, this, and this. And I'm
what
like,
kind of church were you in?
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
curious.
So we can get to
Because that
this.
sounds like certain groups that I might be familiar with, but not.
Nah, you're good. This is actually great.
There's certain church backgrounds that really are like it's not just like the perception, but also like the level of success. And like we have a set of standards that we think this is what a godly man looks like. This is from all different backgrounds, like whatever that looks like. So I don't know, you're hearing, and it's like echoes of some things that I've heard a little bit.
I'm glad we could touch on this. This would be good because I feel like this is also what it means. This is what it looks like when you stick through that. You hold to your convictions. You get an understanding of where they're coming from, but then you just be persevere. So, I was a part of the International Church of Christ. They've had their controversies of being dogmatic or like very like their origin was we're bringing the Bible back to the church, which that's the part I appreciate.
That's cool.
When they sat down and read the
like
word
that.
with me, they were like pretty much anti-cultural Christian.
Is this what this guy was, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So they're like, hey, we're in the world, not of it.
Yeah.
We're
And-
supposed to look different.
and they're
We're supposed
evangelizing,
to
so-
act
Yeah.
different.
They're evangelizing. They're preaching repentance, baptism, all that.
Talking about holiness.
Yes.
You need to start
Yeah.
dressing different, talking
thank the
different.
ICC now, because
What?
without the ICC,
ICOC. There's a difference.
ICOC.
You never get Joyful Noize in
True.
Orlando.
True.
God's sovereign.
Possibly.
Hey,
Never.
God's sovereignty for sure. Because again, all churches have their flaws. So I'll say that, shout out to that church in the midst of all the stuff that's controversial and somewhat toxic. They still shaped me and discipled me in a way that had me really question, like, why am I doing this? So when I was wanting to be this different guy, they didn't just say, okay, like, we don't want to, ruffle your feathers. They're like, nah, like, show us why in the Bible, why that's important. And then we might consider it. So I had to really dig into my word.
That's interesting. I like that in a sense.
Yeah, in these years of being in that church, I felt like I didn't fit in. I wasn't getting put on staff. I wasn't getting put in position to do anything with the church because they wouldn't tell me, but I knew I wasn't the ideal Christian for their movement. And it was like, in a sense, it hurt, but I was like, it was actually liberating because I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna just go do my thing. And then lo and behold, like I was grateful that even with all that interesting characteristics, they knew that the teens will love me though. So like, let's throw them into the teen ministry and see what happens. So I was volunteering with the teen ministry, and that kind of gave me free reign because, with the teens, they're just like a lot of churches are like, man, we ain't got nobody to like really be involved in with these kids' lives. And because I wasn't doing anything.
What year was this again?
Man, this is like 2013,
Oh,
2014.
for sure. And that's when we started youth ministry.
Yeah, man.
Bro, we were doing youth that time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was doing youth. I did youth ministry for 8 years, and so there's a few
Was
things.
it within the ICOC?
Yeah, I was a part of that church until about 2021, 2022, when I started dating my now wife, because that was another thing with that church. Dating outside the church was like dangerous.
Was the congregation mostly older? And so like they would struggle to connect with the youth?
No,
or
actually.
was it a lot of families?
So the main thing is they had their systems. They had what worked for them for decades.
Yeah.
And then they've they reached this crossing point where there was a lot of conflicting things where the world was shifting because a lot of churches was focused on campus ministry, but then now you got a bunch of kids who aren't going to college. They're going to do their own thing. So I was kind of coming in around that breaking point where I was a dropout. I was meeting other kids that was struggling with college, and they were trying to figure it out and figure out how to disciple kids. So, yeah, but all that was helping me see, like, man, these kids really do want to know God. They just feel like something's off within the matrix of their bubble. And I was this kind of like, what's the word? I was just kind of this, for lack of better terms, this weirdo that's in the church that's committed, but still like rebellious in some sense. Like
I mean, back in the day, you just called him a Jesus freak.
He's the outsider.
But you were more kind of the flip of that, coming
worldly.
into it.
Yeah,
he's a little worldly.
Yeah, a little bit.
Walks the line.
Or more, it was more that you were just perceived as worldly.
No, you weren't worldly. I'm saying they would have been saying that.
Well,
if you dressed a certain way or talked a certain way, you're still listening to that music.
Well, that was the thing. It was an interesting thing because I desired holiness and I pursued it just like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like I cleansed my music. I was listening to only Christian music. I was still at church. I was still serving. It was just these kind of like undertones of the traditions of the church that I would reach a point where it would get awkward. And it really started making sense when I finally got on staff at a church in that movement. And I moved from Virginia to Maryland to serve that church. And then now I'm sitting in the meetings and seeing how they operate. And I'm like, dang, I really want to do something different. But it wasn't at first, it wasn't
too late.
Yeah, it wasn't at first not like because I just want to like, it was genuinely because I wanted to help them. Like I was like, okay, I see y'all issue, but I see a solution that might, be uncomfortable. But like, we should try it though. So what you're saying when it comes to worship and everything, it was interesting because this church was really, when it came to traditions, like they were coming from, at first they were a non-instrument church. They were instruments after a while, but they were the huge on the hymns, 5-part harmony type church where I'm learning, I'm learning those songs.
Yeah.
And I was actually leading worship.
How long were you there?
Shoot.
I was saying 2013 to 2021.
I was there for 10 years.
Bro, that shows a level of humility, respect that you have to be able to humble yourself for so many years. And I would not survive in that kind of and I'm a musician, so it's like I would not be disrespectful, but I would probably quicker than that be like, I don't think this is going to work. But also, if God called me to be there, I don't know if I would have been able to stick it out like I think you did. So that's pretty awesome.
Man, the one thing that
that's
I held...
admirable.
Thank you. I mean, that's why I show love to them regardless of the different conflicts we had. Because at the end of the day, they were like, if the Bible says something that you believe in and you're rocking with it and it makes sense, context, and all that stuff, go for it. Little did they know it was some things that we didn't agree on, and it was just kind of like we just butt heads, but it still gave me that conviction for myself to know.
It's good.
Okay, I'm here until I'm not, and so yeah, I'm in there. We'll understand it better by and by. I'm in there doing it.
You went from like one extreme to like I'm partying it up on the college campus to like that. That's crazy. That's
now,
a really
so when you found that like library time and then years after, like how long did you have a kind of a spirit of gratitude for like, okay, like because now I believe like my life was destined for death and destruction, and and now here I am saved, and I'm gonna go this route. But now, like, I feel like we're getting to this point, like, kind of where is that fork in the road? Where now that you have some foundation biblically, but there's still kind of the ambitions and dreams you have. Plus, now you're looking at life differently. Like, this fork in the road's coming because now, like, 2021's coming. We're talking about 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
Kind of what was that fork in the road, and then how, like, kind of give us the setting, the scene, and kind of what kind of led you to kind of go left instead of right.
Man, it really started 2017. I was trying all these different things that I was getting advice about because I was still trying to figure out my career. This is 4 years into my faith, and I've volunteered, I've served, and it still feels like I don't want to go back to college. I don't feel like anything's fitting for me in college. I don't think I'm going to be on staff anytime soon. And the pastors are discipling. They're like, well, all right, what are you going to do? I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do? I'm working at Waffle House at the time, and I'm trying to figure it out, but I was cooking up, literally. But
I love it.
But throughout all these years, mind you, I was DJing campus events, which my campus pastor pulled the clutch move, was like, hey, you're in charge of the music for campus events, and it will always turn into parties. So then eventually I became the go-to DJ for church, for conferences, whatever. And I knew something was different. It was like that moment where, like, I know I got something special, because it was like the way the parties were, it was Joyful Noize before Joyful Noize. Like, people would, like, when I DJ teen events, they would protest if I wasn't DJing.
Bro, how did that work? I'm curious. I'd like for you to talk about the inner workings of that, because so you're doing these outreach events, which are obviously like the energy is high.
Yeah.
This is like attractive to young people. What is this about? And then they come to church. And it's like,
yeah.
How does that work? I mean, did that stick? It stick for you, but I'm surprised because I think a lot of people would go, oh, I thought this was like what Bryce showed us.
Yeah, that would be the quiet, like, fading away of some relationships, because they would come a few times and they're just like, man, I just can't do the music, bro. Like, I don't know. So, I did notice it.
Like my grandma's church at least has some dope
It's like
black
Footloose. It's like, we
gospel
don't dance in this town.
Yeah.
We don't.
Is that how it is?
I don't know.
Is that how it
Just
is?
like people,
No.
People who
Were
like
they okay with dancing?
No. I just mean like the people who came like, this is like, we don't do
I
this.
know.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy because so it's weird. It looked like they had this is a lot of churches. Let's not put this on the ICOC. This is the church I grew up in too.
Yeah, that's real.
You've got like, hey, let's do these events to reach the youth, right?
In Pentecostal church.
Let's do this to reach the youth because we have a heart for evangelism. We believe the Great Commission that we're supposed to go and make disciples.
Get them in the door.
And so we're like, let's go and do that. But then when they come in, it's like, well, hey, bud, you're gonna need to look like us and act like us. You can't listen. I know we did that event to try and get you in. It's like this bait and switch thing that, I mean, it can work. But to be honest, dude, I think what's better now, at least now, because maybe that worked in like the 90s during like the hype of youth group, where basically those kids' church was youth group. Like they were coming on Sundays maybe and sitting in the row, but they're talking to their friends. They were being discipled, and their church was this random side ministry that this other church had on like Sunday nights,
Seriously.
So I think maybe now though, if we want those people, those youth or people from the outside coming in to actually join the community, I think we got to be a little bit more real on the front end. Like, it might be better for us to just be, if that's how we are on Sundays, maybe we shouldn't do a bait and switch.
Yeah, for sure.
You won't attract the coolest kid maybe if you're not cool. But like at least you're being genuine and being actually authentic to who you are as a church.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to be hype on Fridays when you're doing an outreach event, bring that in on Sundays. Bring that same energy in some way. Like there's got to be
I think the essence of it is the word of God is always going to be the before and after, like, and it's always going to be in the midst of it all. So that's what kept me there. I'm like, at the end of the day, I might, not agree with all the approaches of music, but I'm here to hear the word. Like,
and you felt God.
Yeah.
Like, and you like,
and I ain't gonna lie, them hymns be hitting. When you really understand,
they're
like,
great lyrics, bro.
Yeah, like I think when I embraced it and was open-minded to it, I actually grew an appreciation for it.
Yeah, of course.
So then even though it wasn't my style, I was like, okay, I could, and I think it's because of the DJ in me. I was intrigued by this style of music because I've never heard of it before.
and people are getting into it too. So you're like, Whoa.
So in my head as a DJ, I'm like, what is it about this music that makes them really resonate with it? And I need to take
Yeah.
note of that, because if I DJ and I might know like one of these hymns, I might drop it one time if I'm in a certain group.
So that's dope.
And
So
that's
quick
their style,
question,
yeah.
because like I understand too, like a bare minimum, like like beats per minute is gonna get someone to dance this way and all right. So now you've been like calculating this for so long, and now
Mhm.
you bring it to a place where, and that's so cool about you because you come from the outside. So now you're in a place and it's like I know you're faking it right now, or like okay, like maybe you're like me and like you're kind of like you come from the back, you come from that life, and now you're seeing different people who may look like you, and now you're like, okay, I can play a gospel song and get them going this way, but now if I could like pull something from here,
Mhm.
dude, you're not just creating, because like I said, I haven't been, but you're not just creating like a hype fun night. Like I imagine people are encountering Jesus
Yeah.
in a way that a lot of people maybe on a staff setting would never really see.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there has to be stories where people give their heart to Christ
Oh, of
at a
course.
Joyful Noize.
Of course. Now that is the secret sauce in a sense,
Yeah.
even though it's not secret, it shouldn't be secret.
Yeah.
But it's like
For
people
the
like,
lost person, that's what it is. The
exactly.
secret sauce.
It's like, man, people see the 15-second clips and just think I'm putting together a fire mix. But
Yeah.
really, like we talked previously before the meeting, it's like I'm praying over this event.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the word before, during, and after. Like I'm sharing with them the scriptures behind why we do this event. I'm making sure they know, like, this is my conviction.
Mm.
I'm sharing with them Hebrews 13 about hospitality. I'm sharing with them, script like full blown. I'm bringing out the Bible saying this is what we're doing. I share Psalm 100 every single event. Everybody knows. Every single event, I make sure I read it word for word and let them know this event should be Psalm 100 jumping out at you. If it's not, tell me, because that's the goal.
Mm.
So they're understanding,
That's
like,
your measuring stick.
yeah, like I'm letting them know, because that passage is beautiful. It's not just make a joyful noise. It's saying all the earth. It's talking about all nations,
Yeah.
and then it's talking about serving with gladness. It's talking about coming into His course with praise and
Yeah.
thanksgiving,
Yeah.
and all generations. So it gives me a full on mission statement. So I think just with everything, when I was committed to making this happen, again, it was just finding out script biblically, like, all right, what am I trying to accomplish? What's the need? And serving youth ministry helped me realize
Yeah.
the teens don't have a space where they can invite their friends and feel confident in it. And from there, like, I was like, I just want to create a space for them at first, then I saw that the campus needed it. Well, I already knew the campus needed it, so I was doing it there. Then I
Mhm.
saw the teens. And then when I was in the young adult ministry, I noticed we was always trying to go out to eat, or I was in a DMV. So we're in DC, and everywhere is a bar, everywhere is a spot where you're gonna be blended in the
Yeah.
crowd. Even if you just want to go hang out, like, you're in the mix of the world. So
Mm.
I was just like, man, if there's a space for all these ministries to just come together, feel safe, feel welcome, feel loved, and
Yeah.
then accomplish the thing they've been trying to accomplish, we'll be doing a little bit better, And that's how the heart of Joyful Noise really developed. It was like a safe space, intergenerational. Oh, that was the other thing, because I noticed a lot of churches would compartmentalize ministries.
Yeah.
It seemed
Kids
like
ministry, youth ministry,
you would
senior ministry.
never know the married couples, or you'll never know the teens because you're not in the ministry. And I'm like,
Graduate from one thing and go to the next.
yeah, and you
then
never
go to
see
the
them
next.
again, and the kids are crying because they're going to campus and they're never.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
nah, we need something where we could all hang out. So for me, it just started as me just creating hangouts. Like, I used to throw like little parties in DC.
Was that under the umbrella of the church you were on staff with at the time?
Because I learned, so I tried doing events in the church,
Yeah.
and then the process was such a headache. I was like
Like red tape? Just like
What's
they got to
that?
sign off on everything.
yeah, there was just such a
So
process.
many rules.
So I was like, okay, I just need to throw these little parties on the side and just know that that's the best way to go.
Did you ever have conviction about stuff like that?
What, like
Because I don't think you're doing anything wrong, but did
Yeah.
you ever feel conviction of like, man, I got to do this kind of on the side, and it's like I feel like God, like it's the main thing,
yeah,
but I have to kind of treat it as a side.
I don't want to
thing.
get my pastor's
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah,
I could see
I don't want to
that.
step
I
on
could see
toes.
that.
I
Mhm.
don't want people to think I'm competing with Sunday or Thursday night or
Yeah.
whatever you guys,
I ran into that. For me, I didn't feel it, but I noticed that was an issue.
You experienced it.
Yeah, I definitely experienced it was an issue. So
Oh, so hold on, just to clarify, you're saying like there were some leaders who were saying, hey,
So
we should have some say in this, or like you can't be doing this without us making sure everything's greenlit.
yeah,
Is that what you mean?
yeah, I ran into
So you
some.
were like, I don't think this is gonna be an issue, and you go to do something, and then you hear from them.
Yeah, I had a
Dang.
few. So it's been a lot. It's been a long list of things. So there was when I first became a Christian, I threw like an event in the church with the church, and it was great. Like it worked out.
Mm-hmm.
It was a vibe. Like it was awesome.
Cool.
But then I wanted to do
Top
it.
10?
Not top 10. Not top 10. But it was great for the
the
first
first
for the
thing?
first
For the fir-
one.
yeah.
It was dope. But when I wanted to do it again, that's when I ran into the issue. They're like, "Oh, well, based on our calendar, you gotta." But I was like, "Yo, like you don't realize
Yeah.
how
The
effective."
momentum.
Yeah. So I was like, "Man,
So they
I
weren't
want."
necessarily saying you couldn't do it,
Yeah.
but it was just adding complications to it.
The priority of it wasn't as
Right.
high for them. So
Yeah, of
they
course.
saw it as, a little extra thing when I'm like, nah, this is the solution. You feel me?
Right.
Like, so yeah, at first I saw that. And then when I was in the youth ministry, like I would just work within the confines of what was there.
Yeah.
And then it was when so Virginia Bryce, I would just give you different types of Bryces. So Virginia Bryce was like completely locked in with church. Like whatever they needed, I was making it work. Like
Yeah.
I was on go.
Yeah.
Like full on sacrifice. I mentioned 2017 because that's when
You have to, because you're all about hospitality.
yeah.
Like, so if that's what you're about, and that's your brand, it's like you are gonna, like, the church,
Yeah.
you were serving it.
Yeah, I was serving to my best ability, and it worked out. Like I learned a lot serving that church. And then when I got to 2017, that's when I discovered like, nah, I love DJing. Like I love what it does for me. I love what it can do for the community. I really want to take this further. And I was trying to discover what that looked like. And that's when I started like exploring like what does it look like to work with artists and do like a concert.
So by then you already branched off.
a little bit. No, I was still
You
like
were still there on Sunday.
yeah, I was still doing my thing. It was when there's Virginia Bryce. That's when I was discovered. I moved to Maryland, so I was like getting there with my music on the side and
Mhm.
balancing the two. And then when I was like, I'm about to go full blown music, I get invited to do ministry full time in Maryland. And like I was saying earlier,
Yeah,
like
oh, yeah.
I wanted to do ministry, but I felt like everybody didn't see me as a ministry type of dude.
Yeah.
So this opportunity to finally give it a try came.
Yeah.
So I moved to Maryland and I sold all my musical equipment, just moved out there and just was like, let's go for it. Let's do it. I've been waiting for this opportunity.
Yeah.
And God, in summary, he humbled me because in my heart, part of my heart was like, let me show them like I'm built for this. Like I'm that ministry dude. So I went in there full force, was working with a bunch of like hood rats. I love my boys. All the guys, they know who they are. But I had that was an amazing time with the teens, like transformational. I love them dudes. Cause for some reason God just gave me the most ratchet kids in the most like suburban church. And we was able to like they was able to see me be
That's
very
great.
Oh, I was gonna say, bro, you are who you attract. That's what.
yeah. Nah, straight up. We was like they were the hood rats and I was right there with
Yeah,
them.
bro. Was your title youth pastor, youth director?
I was what was I? I was a youth.
I mean, the name doesn't matter, but you oversaw their teens.
So
ministry.
there was an overseeing youth leader or
Okay.
youth pastor, and then I
Okay.
was one of the youth leaders on staff, or I forget what it's called. I want to say
Dang,
intern.
So was it a big church?
It was fairly big. I mean, not huge. It's like 500 congregations.
So
that's a big church.
you weren't the ultimate decider of all decisions. You were a support staff to a guy who was support staff to the lead pastor.
Yes.
So-
But they were in such a need. I had some liberties to
They
try
gave
stuff
you a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
a little bit.
Like we
I-
don't know what to do.
Yeah, that was the thing. They had an issue. Like Maryland had one of the highest teen suicide rates, but it was one of the wealthiest counties, and it was such a weird. Well, the county we was in had
Yeah.
a high teen suicide rate, but still had both parents and had money. So they were just like, "What's happening?"
It's weird, bro.
So when I went in, I was able to see like,
Yeah, he comes from the poor.
I grew up in Maryland,
No, but Cecil
oh
County,
really? What
Maryland.
part of Maryland?
No,
Cecil County.
he's not.
Which
Oh,
is
you in the
on the
sticks.
other side of the
No,
bay.
he
yeah.
wasn't poor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't poor.
Cecil County, Maryland. Like when I was there for a time, like it was just
It's
like
a little redneck.
yeah, it was just redneck,
Where I was in Montgomery,
which
County.
is so messed
Okay,
up
yeah.
for me to be like redneck is poor. But it's just like because
It's a
it's so
culture.
different from where like it was just from where Delaware was, and that just completely different places, and they were
Yeah,
like
like-
25 minutes apart.
Nah, that's
Yeah.
real.
But it is.
Someone's gonna be like, "How dare you
Some
talk about
parts,
Cecil County?"
some parts of Maryland would say, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
the poor place,"
Yeah.
just because how their mindset was.
Isn't
you
it
know?
funny how people in Maryland say when you say where you're from, we say the county instead of the town?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that we do that, but that is a Maryland thing.
Montgomery
apparently.
County.
So like I've noticed that is statistically that is a thing. Like the more affluent, wealthy, well-off society becomes, suicide tends to go up with it. So
Yeah.
like in first world countries, that's where suicide happens. In third world countries,
Different
there's
to
not as
survive.
much suicide.
yeah.
I mean, you can give tons of reasons of why that might be,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that is going to be a problem in a place where
Yeah.
oh, everything's great, we have everything we need.
Everything we
Why the
need.
frick am I so sad all the time? Like,
Exactly. I have everything you need, but I'm missing something. So then they're like just depressed. But God, man, again, working with those kids, I love them because they were like the most honest kids you could ask for. Where they
Yeah.
were the kids in church where they're like, "Oh, that's a problem kid," but then I'm talking to him. He's like,
yes,
"No, this is stupid. Like I want to go to the football game on Friday, and y'all
Bro,
got me here. I got
love
my
those
friends
kids.
there." And I was like, "You're right. We should go to a football game."
I don't have to guess what they're thinking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really sneaking around because they're telling me what
Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more to work with in those kids usually than the ones who just lie to your
Yeah.
face and tell you what you want to hear.
It's so funny because what you're saying is so true because that's like I know exactly what you're talking about because when I was doing youth ministry, I had, thank God, I had the popular football kids in my youth ministry.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you want us to be a part of it, you can't do Friday night.
Yeah.
So we did Thursday night because
Yeah.
Thursday night made the most sense.
Yeah.
It was a light practice day. Sometimes it was just a team dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had their influence and pull.
Yeah.
But listening to those people, because it's so true, and that's what, it's funny because even things you're saying, like, I know how to change the room. Like, as we both preach, like, you also, like, if we want to take the room in this way, we can start going in that direction with our voice. So, like, you're already doing so many similar things, and you've kind of intertwined everything you do. But something that a lot of people don't get is, like, it's like you have the product.
Yeah.
And you're talking to the demand. Like, we need the demand, like, we need it here.
Yeah.
And churches miss that mark.
Yeah.
So here you are, like, okay, I need to provide something because there is a demand for it.
Mm-hmm.
And in this place, there is discipleship. We're pointing people to church on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We're creating a community where people get to talk. There's conversations happening. Deliverance is happening. We just talked about a story of a guy who is literally brought to toys. He's brought to tears
yes.
because his answered prayers are happening at an event. His daughter is dancing, and now you were like, those are answered prayers.
Yeah.
And now it's happening at an event that God is using through you.
Amen.
So when you look back at everything, and when you kind of, because I have a lot of that, prove people wrong. Like I have a lot, like
It's
like
the
I
athlete
had
in me.
I had a lot of humbling and seasons to go to where I had to kind of God had to
Mhm.
work on my pride, so I'm able to look back on it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I had so much of that. Now that you've overcome that and you're able to walk in what God is finally, I mean, still the start of,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
definitely.
like to what you want it to be.
This is just the beginning. Yeah.
So it's like, so let's kind of go into that season of like, you because you've been married for how long now?
2 years.
So let's go there. It's like, so 2021, you finally kind of leave because now you're married,
Mm-hmm.
and kind of what does life look like
yeah.
in that season? Like, and what is that? So
Yeah, I'll give you a rundown because it's an interesting timeline. But yeah, 2021, I moved to Orlando,
Yeah.
and this was like the official kind of like, I guess the drifting. When in my church, in the sense they were seeing me as like a weak Christian almost,
Mm.
but it was like,
after 10 years, you became a weak Christian.
yeah, I know, right? But it was like, well, Maryland
Isn't that
understood.
a thought?
Here's the thing, Maryland understood the assignment. They loved me. They loved what I did for the kids. They
Yeah.
loved that I was different. I literally lived in my car for like a year, and I was still serving the teens. And they were just like, this dude. They just accepted like that's Bryce. Like Bryce is gonna Bryce.
Yeah.
So when I said, hey, I'm gonna move to Orlando to start a DJ school and like really pursue something, they were like, go do your thing.
They sent you.
Yeah, they sent me all. They was like, you got it.
No bad blood.
No bad blood. It was all love.
That's
It was
cool.
all love. When I got to Orlando didn't know me, and they were a little bit more traditional because the movement, which I didn't know, started in Florida. That like the movement of that
Mm.
church started in Florida. So they were still wrestling with like a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. So just for people watching or listening that they don't know, the ICOC is a denomination,
Mm.
right? So meaning they have churches that are a part of their group
Mm-hmm.
in all the different states in the U.S. all over.
Yeah.
So you're saying you went from one of those churches in Maryland and you go to Florida, so
Mhm.
you find an ICOC church in Florida.
Yep.
Okay, so that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because that was just normal. It's like, oh, if I go to an area, let me find a church. It was
Yeah.
second nature.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody, and then I found somebody and just shared a room with them. Because I moved to Orlando with nothing.
Wow.
I did one show with Caleb Gordon, and I saw the ripeness of the Orlando
Yeah.
community. I
Yeah.
saw fired up believers, and I was like, I need to be here as a DJ. Like, what the heck? Like,
Yeah.
So this is where a lot of the artists are.
yeah, I met every artist that people listen to right now. I met them in their early phase, like Caleb
Mm.
Gordon, Alex Jean, like Kenny Rivers. All these guys were just getting started, and I met them as a DJ, and I'm like,
What's great for him too is well, I don't know if I imagine it'll be great for you, but it's like Scooty Wop is like now back making music again and jumping back into it.
It's
So now,
interesting
because
how-
you need artist music,
yeah.
like to do
I be
your
telling
thing.
the artists like, drop your songs. I don't have anything to
Dude,
play.
it's interesting how much Christian hip hop has come out of Florida.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I mean, I lived here for like 10
Yeah.
years. And then since I've been getting to know Dave,
Mhm.
KD3, I'm like, yo, all these guys are here?
Florida's
They all
got
live
it.
here.
Atlanta,
he's,
LA,
like,
and
taking
Tennessee,
phone calls from
they don't-
guys.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
I'm
want to
like-
admit it,
Yeah.
but Florida is like the top spot right now.
Yeah, which
And-
is that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm
it's a
really
good spot to
grateful.
be.
So yeah, I moved out here. I started DJing for them, and then the church really didn't know who I was. I was a random dude, but they knew I was trying to DJ.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm I'm locked in. I'm like, I've done everything I could do with the ministry, and I realized that my marketplace is within the music industry.
Yeah.
The teens I was with I just noticed how much the music had a grip on them and their decisions.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's move more strategic. Let me help take over this music industry side, and that could also, consequently like reach the teens in that way. So moved to Orlando, start building with them. In the midst of that, meet my lady like 2022. We get married 2023, and yeah, that's when things really
That's cool.
started taking off. Cause one, I finally like let go of the final little links of the relationship with the church that I kind of felt like was holding me back, but I was just praying and fasting because my concept of leaving the church was still just like, man, what am
Yeah.
I doing? Like, and it was tough because I didn't have a church I was going to go to next. I was just trying to figure out like where I was at.
Yeah.
But when I met my lady, she was also trying to figure out where she was at with her church.
Yeah.
And when we were together, it was kind of like, you either gonna join my church or your church.
Yeah.
Let's pray and fast about it. We discovered God was like, no, y'all both need to leave that church and find a new church. And we did. I prayed, I fasted, and I went to a church that I found through a concert. Body of One Ministries in Orlando, Pastor Frank Reynoso. He was just the brother, man. Everybody loved him. He had that respect to him in the city, and he was known for always like mentoring a lot of artists. And he was so cool. And what's the word? I think ironically, but he also had a Christian club back in the day. Like
Oh, wow.
he helped run the event. So we was able to join that church. They counseled us. They married us. They got us right.
That's cool.
But in the midst of that, yeah, like
Are they doing hymns?
they wasn't. They was definitely vibing.
You miss it? I mean, I'm not even joking.
I ain't
You
gonna
might.
lie. I do miss
probably
I bet you
aspects
catch
of
yourself
it.
in the whip just hitting
how
some- hitting-
great thou art.
Oh, that's all
good.
time though.
That's when I'm like,
Yeah.
I need that.
You can pull that out this Sunday in every church in the country,
sure.
and everyone will lock in.
Yeah, but that's one that people. It's a sleeper. Like
Yeah.
so yeah. Like I made that decision. I moved on and found a church. Started building this new relationship, and then I felt like it was just really liberating. It was time for me to really lock in.
Mm-hmm.
Cause yeah, like in the midst of all those 10 plus years of trying to figure out my purpose and figure out if this works, I was just loading up on scriptures, loading up on experiences and case studies. Like I was just digging
Yeah.
to make sure this made sense. Cause I was like, God, whatever I decide to do, I want to make sure it's in your will. I want to make sure this is not out of rebellion in any way, shape, or form. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to play with this. So that fear, like I say, the fear of the Lord is beginning of wisdom because it took a long time for me to kind of figure this out. I
Yeah.
feel like I've stepped into now this, as they say, the overnight success in 12
People
years.
don't realize.
It ain't.
Yeah, they're like, wow, Joyful Noize.
They're like,
man.
wait, the guy was doing hymns only?
Yeah.
So
Like
that's
some
cool.
people it's want to blow their mind.
So now you're at a place where you're attending a church and you're plugged in with a leader who is not only in support but has experience. I don't know how much experience, but like he's if he's mentoring artists, then he at least knows a lot more of that background than somebody who would have no idea.
And update.
That's
so
cool.
Pastor Frank, they married us, and then when we moved, I moved to Palm Bay because my wife was teaching out here.
Okay.
So that was in Orlando. We tried to commute to Orlando.
It's good for a season, but to do it it's tough.
Bro, it got real, and even
Then you
Pastor
get a
Frank,
baby
he was
and it's
like, it's time for you to find a church out there.
Yeah.
And we found the house church in Palm Bay.
Oh, shut up, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah, and it was crazy
Freaking love
because
them.
KD3 and
Yep.
Daniel, they were the guys that referred me to that church because
Yeah.
I was looking for a venue to do Joyful Noize.
Yeah.
And everybody was mentioning the house, like they're cool. The house,
Yeah.
Bro, isn't the pastor the mayor also?
No, his one of
No,
the
there is a
one
guy.
of
That'd be
the-
sick. I
I want to
didn't know
say
that.
one of the. I don't know if he's a deacon, but he's one
One
of
of
the
the
like,
leaders?
He's a leader at the
he's
church as the mayor,
He's a staple in that church.
They're great
Yeah.
guys. We
Yeah.
love the house, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
and they also
Pastor
have
Dave-
Pastor Ken. They have a Pastor Ken.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he and his their PK and our PK would go way back too.
Dude, I still
Yeah.
think the house is like one of the coolest names for a church.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Like
and
when I
it,
first heard
it's
it, I
on
loved it.
brand for us.
Oh, dude, it's right there, bro.
That is
So,
so.
dude, I wanted to ask because I don't know how far in. We're close to an hour actually already,
Hey, we vibing.
which is fine. But, dude, I wanted to ask like some of the philosophy behind Joyful Noize, right?
Mhm.
Because some people are going to see this and they're going, I mean, we know we've already seen you've been in interviews where they're using the title as clickbait, like
Yeah.
Christian nightclub owner, like, okay, so if that's the case, I mean, I'd like to ask some of the questions that you probably have answered, but, the philosophy behind Joyful Noize, is it evangelistic or is it like, hey, this is a place for people who are believers can come and have a good time and not worry about, like, we can dance, we can listen to good music,
Yeah.
but nobody's going to be drunk. Nobody's going to be doing drugs. We're
Mhm.
just going to hang out and magnify Jesus and have fun, which I think there's a place for that.
Yeah.
Is that the goal? Or if you had, like, I would say more so, no, I want people from the outside coming in to find out about Jesus. Or is it both? What do you think?
It's definitely in the both because it falls in the line of hospitality.
Okay.
And evangelistic is definitely a little bit more on the offense of
Yeah.
we're going out, we're reaching people.
Right.
And there's some elements to that, and that is marketing. Like my posts go out and they reach whoever
Social
they
media
need to reach.
and your
I mean,
influence. yeah.
a guy in the church buys 30 tickets and 15 of those people could be lost people.
Yeah,
Oh,
like I
knowing
literally
him,
had
he
people
probably
do that.
did bring people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just naturally becomes evangelistic because people are talking about it. It's definitely a come and see approach because
Yeah.
people go, they experience it, and then they're bringing more people.
That's cool.
But the essence of it is definitely, I would say, just a safe space
Yeah.
for people to feel seen, loved, and a sense of belonging. Like that's always been a heart of it because hospitality is meeting people where they're at, and being able to say, hey, like you're coming in, you don't know nothing about church
Mhm.
or you've dealt with some crazy experiences. Well, this is about to rewrite everything because you're
Yeah.
going to come in and people are actually going to look you in your eyes and ask you your name
Yeah.
and maybe go get some lemonade with you. And then y'all all going to sing the song together.
Mhm.
And you're creating a new memory about Christianity.
Yeah.
And I always say, like, we're not trying to replace church. We're not trying to be, as far as the establishment, we're not trying to replace or we're not trying to be better. We're not trying to do none of that. We're just here to support. From my experiences, it was just like I saw a need for Saturdays to be a time to gather people or Friday, whatever time.
Yeah.
But we just need somewhere to connect.
Yeah.
And I think as I studied clubs, because I was trying to figure out, like, even in the midst of that controversy, like, is this biblical? Is this wise to call it a club? I had to really stand on it. So, yeah, the philosophy behind it being a club even is understanding what is, if you strip away all the taboo stuff about clubs, what is the goal? Bring people together, create memories,
Yeah.
Network. A lot of people do business in clubs. A lot of people, when they move to a city, they go to the club to catch the vibe. They like to discover music.
Yeah.
Labels work with clubs
They're
to push
trying to
music.
find a girlfriend.
They're trying to find something.
Bro, you got any couples that are finding their future
People
spouses
literally
at
have
Joyful
gotten
Noize?
married, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
I like
and
that.
I mean,
Shayla, my boy.
that's
Shayla
what
and Ben.
I mean, I'm sure you have people that said it's like what you're doing. If you were in question of what, like, I believe is 100% ministry,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like, and I believe because when you think about what Christians do, it's like, You either have small group, which is your community,
Mm-hmm.
or like you do what everyone else does, and you're just like a Christian in secret among the world.
Yeah.
Consumer Christian, you just come in, sit
no,
in your
not
seat
even
and leave.
that. Just the sense of like, okay, like I'm a pastor, but I also can go sit at the Orlando Magic game.
Yeah.
And
Are you saying we're not allowed to go to NBA games?
no, what I'm trying to say is like
I'm
you
kidding.
just
Cancel.
go do like
Yeah.
there isn't something to go do.
Yeah.
Like
So-
that is like
bro.
that falls in line of
Yes.
so what he's doing is so cool because it gives that. It is like, oh, hey,
Mhm.
there's gonna be people like me here.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
that like this vibe, like this. Like I have no godly friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have like or man, I am done with this lifestyle. Like I'm thinking of like of the hard people to reach. Like imagine like the stripper who finds Jesus
Mhm.
and still is wrestling with it. And then dude, you're laughing, but I'm being
wondering where you're going
serious.
because I thought you were gonna be like, what if she could dance on a pole but keep the clothes on?
That's not what I'm
Definitely
saying.
not working.
But it's like, okay, hey, we have Sunday church for you and maybe a woman's group on Tuesday
Yeah.
night. But it's like, dude, she's done something the same for the last 10 years
Yeah,
of music. So
Yeah.
now there's a place where now she can go to. And also, not just for that person, the person also who has been in church their whole life, who's never made a mistake, but who loves to dance and who loves to kind of feel the vibe. Like it becomes
and
this
needs
meeting
to learn
place.
how to socialize
Yeah.
outside of the church bubble.
Dude, what? You know how many awkward high school and
I see
college
it.
Christians are?
Okay, so dude, that's what I had two thoughts, and bro, we cut you
I guess
off
I
a
didn't
little
have
bit,
to
so I
say the
want-
stripper
You're good.
thing. You're right.
No, it's okay. No, your point is people coming from a background where that kind of stuff is normal,
Yeah.
and then we say you get saved, and this is what I was going to bring up. Do you remember what Elijah said? And when you said, "Hey, what do you think is the number one thing keeping from young adults from to coming into church, accepting Jesus and becoming believers?" Do you remember what he said? We did an episode. It was actually about
He knows Elijah.
it was about the black church and the white church,
Mm.
and we talked about the differences in the culture there, and it was a good episode.
I don't remember what he said.
We brought Elijah and Matt Fremont,
Yep.
and Elijah said it's because I think a lot of young people just think that Christians are corny.
Mm.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And he
remember
was
that.
like, Christians are like they're looking at, oh, as soon as I become a Christian, I can't have fun
yeah,
anymore.
you become lame.
Mm.
And he's saying like it's the number
Young
one.
people's perspective.
It's the number one thing that I fight when I'm trying to tell people about Jesus. Like, you don't become a Christian and then just become boring,
No.
and you're just you're corny now, and you're oh bless God, brother. You know, like he was saying that's what he thinks is the number one reason why it's so hard to reach people, and because they think, well, I'm joining this dorky,
Yeah.
corny group of people who never have fun and just point fingers all the time at
Yeah.
everybody else. And I
Yeah.
think what you're doing is combating that.
Well, I think the
which is
main
really
thing,
important.
and that's the fun part with this is redefining what corny or understanding what is corny. What do they mean when they say it's corny?
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
it's their version, right?
Yeah, and I think the
Yeah.
big part of what Joyful Noize is, what I always fight to represent, and I think what I've noticed with teens they always gravitate to is authenticity.
Yes.
And it's like we know from a mile away when somebody's faking just to get something. Like
Yeah.
teens are really good at
Oh, they'll-
recognizing.
yeah, and they'll call you out.
Yeah, they're
Unfortunately,
like, bro, I don't know this, but
Yeah.
like, what the heck? But I think that was the biggest thing I saw was like, man, I understand not conforming to the world, but conforming to church tradition isn't as good either. We gotta conform and be like Jesus, and
Mm.
Jesus was authentic. He
Mhm.
he was crying, he was involved, he was compassionate,
Yes.
he was honest. He shared his everything to people. So for
Yeah.
me, and he allowed imperfections to be there, and he didn't fight to just cover it up. He met them where they're at. So like
Mm.
for me, people will see at Joyful Noize. People see on a live stream. We'll have sound, technical difficulties, or I might forget my Bible somewhere, so I might stop and just let me grab my Bible or I make mistakes in my event and I embrace the awkward moments. We don't freak out when everything doesn't work out.
So you're not worried about putting on a front to make it
Yeah,
look like it's
that's-
all
Yeah.
polished.
Yeah, I feel like that's a big thing with Joyful Noize. People are so used to like polished, agenda based like events. And for me, it's literally a party. I be telling people like, nah, just pull up. Like even the performances, it's not a scheduled time. I play their song, I make sure they're in the room, I pass them the mic, or they don't even perform. They just
Yeah.
vibing. Like I make it it's like 4 hours of just hanging out. And I think that's what people enjoy because you don't feel like you have to be in the room the whole time. You don't feel like you have to do something.
Yeah.
Like everybody gets to
Yeah.
be themselves and in a sense, like be able to try something new.
Yeah.
And just see that God can move in those spaces. It doesn't have to be pristine perfect. And that's what makes it not corny, because it's like we're just being ourselves. Like some people are dancing awkward, some people are dancing amazing.
Yeah.
We're not judging either one. We're just having fun, and it's cool.
So like I know you have volunteers helping out. I know you have like people in place for certain things just in case.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like are you guys kind of doing like an altar call moment? Or are you just kind of trusting that maybe some people through it start talking to the right people, and since you have a room full of believers, anyone can just walk person through that moment? Like, are you just leaning on the Holy Spirit, or are you at least trying to be like, hey, I know tonight some, like, what is that for you?
Great question. Nah, it's definitely Holy Spirit led, because I'm still learning. You know, I from the beginning, I let people know it's like I'm not a trained pastor, ordained, anything. I know that if God is calling me to do something, I'm going to do it. So for the beginning, when I first did it, at the end of the event, I would share my testimony and then allow people to just learn more about my journey. And then after, I think November, after like 3 events, I allowed people to just pray for each other at the end.
That's cool.
And then just allowed that fellowship in the midst of that prayer to see something happen. And then my pastors at the house church was like, nah, like, share the gospel. Like, don't think that you need a pastor to like do altar calls. So,
Bro, they're
so true.
They're one of the best at that.
Yeah, they encouraged me. So then I was able to.
They get that, which it's like we said, it's like not everyone's called to full-time ministry, but everyone's called to the ministry.
Yeah, marketplace ministry. That's what they tell me. And then like I've given the opportunity for people to give their life to Jesus, and then there's other times where we just worship. We just worship to the end. I share a message and we pray over people. So every event has been pretty different. Like this last event, I included a lot more worship, and it was powerful. Like at the beginning of my set, I just did 15 minutes of worship, and I feel like
kind of set the atmosphere.
Yeah, and then at the end, I played a song, and then I allowed people to just pray. I prayed over them, and then I said, if anybody wants to release, like give their life to Jesus now, like raise your hand, and then we could pray. Which that's a new thing for me too, because not to get into the crux of all the doctrine, but ICOC believed in you have to truly repent and be baptized to be saved. And that was a theology I was wrestling with.
What's funny is I was like, will there ever be a baptism Joyful Noize night? That's funny.
You got to get a tub there.
I know, man. And the logistics.
I imagine you wouldn't put it. I mean, it's like imagine you use a venue where they have it, and it's like.
And here's the thing that I had to like understand, and I appreciate it when I really resonated with it, was I'm not gonna do everything. I can't do everything.
You can't.
And I can release the fact that, okay, I'm going to do the best that I can. And I know that after this event, people are going to do their thing. Like saints are going to come in. So I hear stories and testimonies of, man, I found a church after I went to your event because I met these people. That's cool. Man, I got baptized the day after because, man, this one song really spoke to me.
Yeah.
I'm so just hearing collection of different
things. That stuff is happening organically then.
Real deal. Real deal.
Because you could overprogram it.
Exactly. That's the
like
main
if you're
thing.
like, all right, at the end, we've got 5 guys here. They're each pastors from a different church, so you can talk to them. And one of them, I could see how that would get, it would bleed into that, like, I mean, you didn't say it, but you said definition of corny, and then you said, I think people want authentic. So I think what you were saying is it can start to get corny if you're not authentic.
If every time we have to do this, into that. And I'm freaking out if it doesn't, I'm missing the point. Because it's like, nah, tonight we just vibing.
Bro, can I say something real quick? Because when you were talking about, you have so much. You're gonna say
He's ready.
great
I see.
things. I know, but I wanted to say something.
Yeah,
before
you can talk. It's your show, dude.
No, it's not. It's our show. This is God's show. Oh, I have never said that before. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how people feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, so because I'm not speaking on behalf of God when I'm saying dumb stuff.
Yeah,
that's why
God's like, that's not my show.
He's like, oh, that's not my show. Bro, when you were talking about how you're like you're going to parties and you're being so observant about like how things are flowing and who's talking to who and what's happening at any given time.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm sure you like you walk into a venue or like a room sometimes you're like, bro, this would be sick if we could do something here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Super
so
observant.
Bro, it's interesting because that's what I do 24/7 when it comes to leading worship.
Word.
And what you're describing is almost the same exact, and I have friends who are worship leaders as well, and there is this place of maturity that comes when you're recognizing that I am being used as just a tool to lead people to wherever God is taking us in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like not physically we're going to stay in this room, but
No, I
mean
you.
like we're going to go into this chorus here. We're going to go into this bridge. We're going to drop it down and we're going to build it up. I'm not a DJ by any means.
You're
I'm
good.
a worship leader. But what you're doing sounds a lot like what we
We're
do
very similar.
in church. You're assessing the environment. If some girl, you just did some worshipful thing and there's a girl weeping, and then I could be like, all right, now we're going to pop in this Lecrae banger right now and be
It's
like, what is
whoa,
happening?
come on, man, read the room.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
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 Church clap. Yes.
No.
That's what I'm thinking. So, like, I could see, obviously, you have to be aware of it. And it's so interesting because you're talking. I'm like, dude, he's doing the same thing that we're doing. You're being led by the Holy Spirit in that moment to guide people. And I mean, at least for me, there's nothing more fulfilling than seeing people encounter God.
Yeah.
Not because of me, but God let me play a part in it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I don't want to do. That's what I want to do with my
I love
life. For the
this.
rest of my life, that's what I want to do. And we
Yeah.
talked about that. And so it's interesting to hear you talk about it. And I'm like, I don't lead worship in an apron, but that's kind of what he's doing
Man,
We
it's-
serving people.
at the Joyful Noize. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're saying that because that was a conviction that I had when I really because I was a Christian DJ that was gigging, which a lot of Christian DJs right now kind of hide in the wedding gig business.
I mean, that's
and they-
probably where the
they make
money's
the
at.
money.
Yeah,
That's
they got
where
to
the
pay
money's at.
bills. They got to
Yeah,
pay
man.
bills. So they'll play the clean
Do it.
versions. They'll play
Yeah.
the line dances and then
Mhm.
say, I give God the glory. But for me, I had to throw it all out. Like, I don't care if it's oldies but goodies, nothing. Like, I completely sanctify my playlist.
So you at Joyful, that was one of the things I was going to ask you. At Joyful Noize, there is no secular music. It's
Nah.
all Christian.
It's all Christian. It's words that bring life. So I'm bringing in tasteful music of all styles, but it's all Christian.
Wow.
So with that being said, it's like being able to understand, I am leading worship. When I did lead worship at one of our church plantings, it was like I would curate the playlist and from there figure out where the Spirit leads us. And that's what I'm doing. I curate a playlist, figure out where the Lord is taking
dope.
us, and we go from there and read the room for sure. So
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's dope.
You're saying it's the hospitality thing, and I'm assuming, and we know that's why you're wearing the apron, right?
yeah.
So that is you're setting the environment. You're cooking. That's what I was.
He's
thinking.
cooking
The
and
first,
serving.
The first time I saw a
He's
picture of you in
serving
apron, I was like,
vibes.
oh, he's cooking. Like that's what he.
That's the
But
easy
then
one.
I heard you talk about it. It's so much deeper than that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a part of my story. It's a reminder that keeps me humble just where I started when I
Yeah.
became a Christian. I was working at Waffle House as a waiter.
No way.
It was a humble job, man.
I
but
just
loved
realized.
it.
So that's like a straight up. That's actual literal
Yeah.
throwback because you would have been wearing an
Yep.
apron. while
Yeah.
you were
The
working there.
people that served wore aprons just as much as the cooks. And for me,
That's dope.
it was dope because it was it was always been a vivid memory, me putting on that apron and then going out and praying with people because I was a young Christian fired up
Yeah.
and I was at Waffle House. So I knew they wasn't talking about God. So I was like,
Yeah.
I could talk about whatever I want because they cussing too. So I'm like, I'm going to come in here and preach. And they can't tell me anything because they're breaking rules also. So yeah, the apron has been essential in my early stages of Christianity. But then as I was nerding out about marketing and stuff, I saw that every artist or creative had some
Something, yeah.
some staple point, where it's a marshmallow with the
Yeah.
helmet or
Yeah.
Whatever. So I was like, all
That
right,
was a good one. The marshmallow head.
yeah, it's a real good one. So I was like, what's my thing? What's my fashion piece?
Your niche. Yeah. What's your what's
yeah.
your thing?
So I thought about what I care about, hospitality. I was like, what's a clothing item that symbolizes hospitality?
Mhm.
Apron came up. I was
Yeah.
like, perfect. I
That's dope.
just started just thinking about it, and I was like, yo, this is great. And the first time I wore it was at this event I did with Caleb. We was in Coral Springs. I popped out with an apron and a ski mask. It was crazy.
That's sick.
And we was rocking, and it worked out so great because what I heard after the event, people were saying some dude with an apron was turned, and I was like, that's perfect because people usually don't remember your name,
No.
they don't remember these things. But if there's one thing, mental real estate, they're
Yeah.
like, yo, that dude with the apron, I know they're talking about me. And
Bro,
so-
that's what Jesus was. He was the servant king
Yeah.
coming to serve people. So it's like you're freaking serving, and that's
yeah.
dope.
And what I
Yeah.
love even more about that is when Jesus met him, he was a server in
Mhm.
Waffle House.
Yeah.
And he's been walking with Jesus for 10 plus years now.
Yeah.
And his inside's been transformed, but he's kept the outside the same so we can attract
Dude, the
more
rest of us
people.
are gonna have white robes in heaven, and you're gonna have a white apron.
That'd
ready
be
for you.
sick.
That'd be fire.
So
actually.
look, something that is important to me, it's definitely important to you, is youth ministry, young adults, people where they're going for. And I love your name, the Joyful Noize. But for the people who are gonna because we've experienced it. We're talking about the gospel on social media. People are going to say what they want to say. They're going to comment what they want to say.
Yeah.
But for someone who's in the rooms, for someone who's seeing and help cultivating kind of maybe the inspiration for young people, maybe the reviving of dead dreams for old people who are in there, like you are part of this space. Like, what do you say to those people who are like, this is not just noise. Like, this is not just another young guy doing another young thing and it's just going to be noise and it's going to be here and gone. Like, what are you hoping is like the watering of the seeds that you're doing now? And like when you look back and if you want just for the rest of your life or whatever it turns into, like how are you going to make sure that it isn't just this blurb in time of just noise, but that it just went so much further because you're actually seeing life-changing rooms. You're seeing people get married. You're seeing so much. You're seeing people who were paralyzed now dance on your stage. Like you probably never expected any of it.
That literally happened.
You never expected any of it. So now that you are growing in your faith, you're also a father now. So now now I'm a father, he's a father. It changes. Even how you see young people maybe dancing. And so like, what is your hope for Joyful Noize to be that it's not just this thing that just happened, but it's like, no, from it, there's going to be people who are going to take up this torch and take it further, or pastors, or like whatever it is. Like, what is that you're hoping that is the beautiful, the stuff that you're never going to see?
Yeah.
Like you're never going to see the flowers of the stuff you're watering.
Oh yeah.
Like you're going to
rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I pray you do see the flowers.
I've seen a lot of flowers, but I get what he means.
You know what I mean?
I'm saying, you know, some
I mean?
people don't get to see their legacy play out, but some people do.
No,
I hope
it gets
do.
me every time in Hebrews 11 where it's like all these people, you know, moved on faith, and some of them didn't even get to see God's promises in real time. So I get it.
It's just a true thing because, I mean, I tell the people who serve in kids ministry, it's like, you guys are watering seeds, and you may never see this kid move away another town and turn into a youth pastor or something. So, like, there's an aspect of raising up kids in kids ministry, and like what you're doing, you may never see the fruit of it, but you're trusting. You're trusting there is going to be fruit from it.
Yeah. And I think from what you're saying, I think what helps me understand that and come to appreciation is my vision is bigger than me. Like, it is a multi-generational movement that I feel like is going to go beyond, like my kid is going to be running it or overseeing it in a way where it works. And I feel like the big part that matters to me is seeing God's word applied, but then also understand that infrastructure and organization is important. If I'm in a marketplace ministry, I need to operate the marketplace with excellence. So when it comes to running a business, what I've noticed is a lot of people have tried to skip over the character and the integrity that comes with owning a business and hope that, oh, we're just going to faith it. You know, we're just, I may have went into the red with this event, but God's going to cover it. It's like, no, this is a profitable business. This is running. It has all the structure in place. It's a for-profit business. And I'm not, you know, trying to cut corners, and I'm not doing
this
any
is
of
how
that.
you're paying your bills.
Yeah, I'm not doing all this stuff. Like, this is a business that I'm running with excellence, but I'm utilizing God's word to guide the decisions versus these popular business principles. I'm saying, what does the word say? What's important here? And I'm going with that because I'm already getting those opportunities that say we can blow this thing up to 3,000, 5,000 people. You just need to get this in.
Bro.
Yeah.
And it's sad because these are like people that are in the Christian space that are offering these things where they're so consumed with the size of it.
That Judas spirit.
Yeah, it's tough because like there's a side.
What if they really want?
No,
they really
that's
want
what that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
call them
saying. There's a side of it where I get where they're coming from.
One of them is definitely has
Yeah,
the Judas
that's
spirit.
Yeah. Now there's some I've had the right boundaries where they don't get close, but no,
We need to sell this oil, dude.
yeah. That's what he's saying.
There's some of them that, you know, just they're so used to what works in their marketplace, but they see something quick and trendy and say, okay, we can help you.
The opportunity, bro.
Yeah, but I think for me, because my foundation is off biblical principles, I can set the proper boundaries to protect the business, but also build something that is sustainable. Because that's what I'm about. It's like too much, too fast won't last. I don't want this to blow up in a way where I can't manage it. I don't want this boat sinking because it's so much fish in it. It's like, nah, I want to be able to have things in place. I love how I always say, like, in that miracle of Jesus feeding the 5,000, he still had the disciples like get people organized in groups.
Yeah.
And he made sure there was order before the miracle happened. So I'm huge on, and shout out to my wife. She's the one that's held me accountable with this. Is like, she tells me
the
all
second Holy Spirit.
Man, she be bringing it, but she tells me, she looks me in my eyes like, I'm content. Like we're taken care of. Like, yeah, we're in a 1-bed apartment. Yeah, we have just enough for the month, but I'm content. You don't need a big financial breakthrough to find peace. Like, I have peace in the fact that you have integrity. You pay your people. You say what you're gonna do and you do it. And if any of that has to get compromised because you got some opportunity, I don't want it. So if we get this success and it blows up and you feel like you've cut maybe one little corner to get there, I don't like it because that's a chip in the foundation that could tear us up.
Man.
So that's
dope.
Yeah, that's it for me. It's like, we're going to stand on business in the most biblical way possible, build slow, but build excellent, and watch this go on for generations to come.
I love that.
Thanks.
Because I believe I'll be a part of the local church for the rest of my life. So there has to be someone who is catering to them during the middle of the week, because not everyone's going to come to the small groups. Not everyone's going to come to the marriage conference. Not everyone's going to come to the men's conference. Like, there's going to be always a group of people who are looking for something different. And the fact that they're thankfully within an hour of us, and even sooner, coming up sooner. Sooner?
Soon.
Yeah, more sooner. Yeah, I think sooner is a word.
Is that an actual word?
It is now.
Coming sooner, there's going to be an event in our town, in our county.
Yep.
So, like, if people are like, oh, man.
Are we allowed to say that, bro?
Yeah, it's cool.
Dang.
I ain't going to say when, but it's definitely in the works.
Yeah, because what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to go follow Joyful Noize and Bryce to figure out when it's happening.
Got it.
Yes.
Do it.
And to
Which
be
we'll
specific, Palm
tag.
Bay, Florida. What's happening?
See? So we'll tag his socials so people, when
Or
they
Melbourne,
hear it.
but, you know.
Dude, there's going to be some people who are definitely on our algorithm that have not heard of it at all. And maybe they've been like, man, it'd be dope if there was somewhere where I could just like let loose a little bit and not be judged.
Dude, I think more Christians than not have had the thought, dude, what if there was a Christian nightclub?
People say it a lot.
The idea
but nobody actually goes like,
follows through
I
with
think
it.
I could do this.
Man, there's a lot of
Thankfully,
crazy
bro.
ideas that people don't go after. But
Yeah, for real. Well,
yeah.
bro, I think it's sick that you're doing it, and I think it's something that is needed. And also, I love that it makes church people mad.
Yeah.
I love that.
That is our favorite thing.
Like, that's
like salvation is my
Pharisees
favorite
and
thing.
people,
But then church people getting
the Pharisees who are like, they're doing it. They're
dancing?
That sounds and looks just like a worldly nightclub. It's like, okay, well, obviously,
come and hear it. Come and experience
You're
it.
really concerned about the things that actually matter, the sound and the look, rather than the heart of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
But I think anybody that shows up, there's no doubt. Like it would be really hard to be a hater if you're there seeing it happen.
Nah, my prayer for the people that always are sending hate is that somebody close to them that they've been praying to come to Christ goes to the event and comes to Christ and they come back to them.
Dude, that's the best conversation.
Obvious.
Yeah.
Dad, I finally accepted Jesus into my life.
My
What, really?
son.
Where? What church? What was the message about? No. It's that Joyful Noize.
It was that.
Nah, that's my prayer, and I've shared on one podcast, but there was somebody that literally came from another state just to apologize because they realized that they were coming at this with the wrong heart, and they showed their son like, you know, this is how you man up to your mistakes. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna apologize.
He did that.
Yeah,
Dude,
and sold into the ministry.
Holy crap!
And sold into the ministry.
Yeah, like
Holy
legit.
crap.
Dude, shout out that guy.
Yeah, nah, it was dope.
Those are the people.
It was confirming.
That's sick.
Like, just lock in because they're watching. They're waiting to see. You know, is this real? Is this just another trend thing? Is this some wolf in sheep's clothing?
Yeah.
type
Do you
thing?
ever get discouraged by that stuff?
Not anymore because I dealt with all the stuff when I was trying to build with my church. That strengthened me to like know like these are comments. Like, they don't know my life. They don't know the conviction. And if they sat down with me, they would understand like, nah, I ain't no joke. Because I understand to an extent where they're coming from. Because this is what I had to understand when I was butting heads with leaders and stuff with a lot of things. It was like they love me, they're concerned, or they're fearful. And in the midst of that, they want the best for me or they want the best for
But only
their
maybe
family.
through their perspective or
Yeah,
lens.
and it just comes out in a way where they just don't want to humble themselves enough to be in my world. And that's just life. Like, I have a lot of people who think they know what I'm doing because they're looking through their lens, and I have to explain to them, nah, this ain't that. So,
Bro, the more you talk, I'm just like I really am admiring the work of God in your life, because so many people in the same position, like you would be justified to maybe push some people out, or to you could say some things that are true that would be negative about your experiences, and you're speaking positive. You're like telling about all the great things that came out of it. You're being grateful. You're even saying you're right now giving grace in the fact that, well, people are critiquing me, but that's coming from a place that they need to work. That's like an unhealthy thing on them. And so you're not even holding it against it. Bro, that's how you need to be in the comments. Because I saw...
He's just mad I got into it with some guy.
I like how you set that up. I was like, oh, all right. That's for him.
Yeah. No, but
that's
honestly,
what I get
bro,
for talking about your emo face.
that I had that thought right at the end. I wasn't saying it just to talk on it.
Nah.
Legit, bro.
I did get in with someone.
I don't know. And if you're at the house, then you probably already have people encouraging you and telling you this stuff.
I always need it.
It's good, man.
But I'll say this. I mean, you know, it's because of the journey, man. When I was in my car, when I had nothing, like, and I was just in a place where I'm down bad. There were people that, you know, didn't really care about me, but God used them to help me, you know, in those times. And I've had people who were enemies become friends, and I've just seen God move.
Cool. Yeah.
And I've seen even myself go from being a prideful little young Christian who thinks he has it all figured out to like realizing I don't know anything. And there's things I've said when I was younger that was hurtful to somebody's journey as well. So I know that God has given me grace in my journey, and that has given me time to like get myself together. And some people just need a little bit more than me in some ways.
Yeah,
because they've had a lot of hurt. So like, yeah, I think that's just what it is. Like God, I was aware of what God put me through, or he's been teaching me, and I just want to represent that for people. Like, if you're going through something that's crazy, or you feel like you've made some crazy decisions, like just know that God's grace will teach you way better than the punishments and the guilts that the world throws at you. So,
man,
yeah.
That's good. I'm glad he even clarified that he said God's
so
putting you, like God's
Titus
not
2,
putting
man.
you
Titus
through
2.
it. He's teaching you something.
I love
and
it.
I think that even if someone just catches that clip and never watches the full episode, is going to do
I
something to their mental for sure.
I was about to be like, see you next week, because that was a great way to kind of just close down, man.
Man, bro,
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
Appreciate
PJ,
you,
is there
dude.
anything else you wanted to say?
No, make sure you follow, what is it, at Joyful Noize everywhere?
Yes, the Joyful Noize with a Z.
Let's go.
Instead of S, yes.
Bro, I imagine someday there's going to be like a Joyful Noize all throughout, and they're all going to look like Waffle Houses. And it's going to be you,
That's
DJ.
the vision. Yeah,
Dude,
franchise.
Bro.
The Joyful Noize
How
will be a
sick would that
franchise.
be, dude?
pop-up,
Friday night, we're going to Joyful Noize, and it's just you behind there on the scale, and I'll be in the back cooking.
Come on, come
I love how
on.
you tied that into the end of this episode.
Yeah.
All right, love you, bro. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see y'all next week. Hallelujah.
Peace.
For the people, let's go. Yeah.